Hey y'all, it's Diana from the Dianaverse, here to talk about the Capricorn full moon happening today, July 13th, 2022, happening about 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is where I am. If you like these videos, please like it and support my channel. Also subscribe, that way you get a notification from YouTube when they come out about every 2 weeks. That's the moon cycle. We've got alternating new and full moon about every 2 weeks. So this particular lunation, we've got the sun in Cancer still. This Cancer is your inner life, your relationships, the body, intuition, your feelings. And Capricorn is your work, your goals, the sacrifices we make to reach our goals, the structure that we have in our life that supports the life part of our life where we're doing the things that we feel like doing. So this is a lot of times called the security axis, the Cancer Capricorn axis, because they're opposite from each other. And the full moon is generally going to be the opposite sign from what the sun is. There's a few months where that's a little different because the way the month is laid out, but that's usually what it is. So Capricorn is a very focused sign. It's a complex sign, but it's very focused on building our structures. It's the bones, represents the bones in the body, the bones of what we're trying to build with our life. So it can help to narrow down to the basics. We have our emotions versus our structures, and you want to find a balance with that because they both sustain us and we need them both, right? Our inner world gets reflected into the outer world, and we want to make sure our inner world is comfortable with our outer world. Sometimes we're doing things that we think we should do, that we feel obligated to do. It may not be what we feel like doing. So you want to check in with yourself at this lunation. Maybe even meditate a little bit on what it is you really desire in the world. We've got Black Moon Lilith there with the moon. We've got the moon close to Pluto, so it can be a little bit intense. It can be family stuff that comes up. There could be things from your past, people from the past, family secrets. If you're into past life stuff, it could bring up some of that. So these are kind of intense feelings. You might want to kind of go inward with that Cancer sun and sit with those a little bit. We've got an aspect to Chiron. There's a square. So one of the things I thought about that might be handy with this particular full moon is notice your self-talk. Like, what are the things that you say to yourself on a regular basis? Write them down, because sometimes we don't even realize how harsh something sounds or how it doesn't really fit with our idea of who we are. And writing it down makes it kind of concrete and reflects back to us in a tangible way what it is we say. Like, if we look at the news and we're like, oh, that group of people always does whatever, like, do they really always? Is that an assumption? Does it make it easier because we're putting them in a box to understand where that's coming from? Or things that you say to yourself, like, oh, I always don't get liked by these people, or some kind of thing. Like, notice those little things and sit with them for a while and see where that feeling comes from and what it's bringing up. Why do you always say this? Like, where is that coming from? And kind of sit with that for a little bit during this full moon. We've got the Saturn in Aquarius still. Aquarius is an air sign. So these are our thoughts. So our structures are still thoughts right now. And before we ground that into the real world, Capricorn is an earth sign. So before we ground those thoughts into the real world, we want to kind of sit with them, with our moon self, and feel how that feels for us and if that's really true. Saturn can be kind of fixed, so we can get kind of stuck in like, this is the way things are. And sometimes it's good to question that. Is that really how things are? Maybe like open your mind a little bit to let in some alternative things that, instead of being so sure of yourself. Venus is still in Gemini, so that's a bit of the push-pull that I was talking about last time. Well, the last few times even, I think. You got this and you got that. So there's a little bit of like push-pull. It's squaring Neptune, so there's a little bit of glamour in that, in our values. Be careful what you invest yourself in, whether it's with money or whether it's relationships. Um, it's going to be moving, Venus will be moving into Cancer next week. So we'll have a little bit more of reflections that aren't so scattered. It'll be a little bit more focused, and we'll have a better idea what we want to do about some of these things. So if you're thinking about investing heavily into a relationship or into something with money, I would wait till next week to see if it really turns out to be something that you're going to want. The better use of that Neptune energy would be, because it's going to be trining the sun, is to imagine your best self in the world. Like, rather than maybe checking out by relationships or buying stuff, think about your best self in the world and what that really needs. What would be the Capricorn, the structure thing that you can build that's really going to bring out your best self that you want. Sunday, we're going to have the sun trining Neptune, and that'll be like a feel-good day. So if you're looking to enjoy some time with others, that might be a good day for that, where everybody's imagining the best in everybody. Monday, we get to Mercury and the sun, which are together. They're going to be opposite Pluto. So that Monday might be a little tougher day where you're going to be expressing some deeper things. Could be based on some of this stuff that comes up to the surface. And that's why I thought meditating at this full moon about how you really feel about things, being super clear about stuff might be better before we get to that day where we might express some things. You might not want to let that fly off the cuff. So plants that I'm working with on this lunation are going to be things that are nourishing, things full of minerals that help us build our bones. Capricorn is your bones in the body. So we're building the bones of our structure. It's good to nourish the body. Nettle seed and milky oats have lots of minerals and nutrients that help us with nourishing our bodies. And the stone I'm working with is bloodstone, also something to help ground and strengthen both the head and the body. So that's what I've got for you for this lunation. I hope this was helpful in some way. If you want to see where that's going to impact you more personally, you can look down in the notes. I'm going to put where you can get your chart for free so that you can see what house these fall in for you. You do need to know your birth time because that helps you put the house system in place. But otherwise, I hope you have a great couple of weeks till we get to our next full moon, and I will see you next time. Bye.